Hello everyone and welcome back to Tech Idea. Here we make tutorials on topics that might be helpful to you in one way or the other. And today I'm going to be bringing in some more information regarding the configuration you'll need for your PC in order to play these games in low, medium, high, ray tracing high, and 4K settings. Now these specs have been provided by Gaming PH News. They're one of the best websites to go for. My apologies. In order to go and get some news regarding gaming, new games that's being released as well as PC hardware. Now let's get started, shall we? In order to play this game in 720p at 30 FPS, which is going to be very low settings, you will need an i3 4160 or an AMD FX 4300 with a GTX 950 or an RX 470. Now these are very old GPUs as well as very old CPUs, but the best part is you can at least play the game, right? Let's move on to the second picture. Now this is for people that wants to play on medium settings at 1080p. Now I believe most of the kids now, not really kids, most of the now people have this is their default configuration, I believe. Now it's going to be an Intel Core i5 4670 or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600. With a GTX 1060 or an RX 580. Now both of these cards are equivalent to one another. None of them is better than the other, so you can hope for the same performance. Now yes, it is written 75 gigs of SSD because if you use a hard disk, it is gonna take a very long loading time. So it is very much recommended to have at least 16 gigs of RAM and 75 gigs of SSD. Now this RAM and this SSD, it's always gonna stay equivalent, because storage, it won't change sizes just because of being a better PC. So, and the same goes for the RAM. So we're not going to talk about the RAM and storage. We'll just keep on talking about the graphics card and the CPU. Let's move on to the third picture. In order to play this game in 4K 60 FPS at very high settings, you're going to need an Core i5 11400 or a Ryzen 5 3600 with an RTX 3070 or an RX 6800 XT. Now this is in 4K at 60 FPS. Now I believe you can play with an RTX 3060 in 1080p at 60 FPS on very high settings as well. So don't worry. The same goes for RAM and storage. It's gonna be the same as the last one. Let's move on to 1440p at 60 FPS or 4K at 30 FPS on high and high ray tracing. Now, as we all know, 1440p is gonna, from 1080 to 1440p, that's like a 30% increase. So if you jump down to 1080p, you're gonna get quite a lot bit of more FPS. But let's move on to the CPU. Now you're gonna need an i5 11600K, a Ryzen 7 3700X, an RTX 3060, or an RX 6900 XT. For being able to play this game on 1440p or 4K 30 FPS with high settings and high ray tracing settings as well. Let's move on to the final picture, shall we? Now this is for all the glory. This is going to be 4K max settings at max ray tracing mode. You're going to need 32 gigs of RAM. You're going to need a RTX 3080. You're going to need an AMD RX 6950. You're gonna need an i7 12700K or a Ryzen 9 5900X. Now both of these CPUs are one of the best CPUs being produced by each company respectively, but that's about it. So I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please drop a like, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.